Right. Calm down or I'm fixing to embarrass you.
No, no, I feel like you're gonna be great.
Exactly.
Right, a baseball field? Yes.
Thank you, Grace. I went to school.
Believe it or not. Yeah.
Because the gnats are hot.
Ah.
Like I'm not the shower.
I just stand up and scream it loud like that.
You're about an hour before.
I'm not a computer and people in being like changes. Literally just got up and pulled back and just.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Slide and say, slide right here.
right here.
You know he's shy.
Like his mom. Oh, fun.
And these are one family. Like only one of those meetings in London.
That's probably it.
First one, there was someone so roots, and it was where the first Teresa's
To do the father.
right there on work there, but all the Like she.
It's right there next to it.
Feel a little bit slow. It felt like it should feel all
Didn't know like the background on top of the house, like this, yeah, layers. The background, the picture.
Did she have therapy? I could not.
Yeah.
I did. It was, that's it. Got it.
Daddy's.
Each living was that.
Well, I know. But the food, I really know what I'm saying. Don't have me like the injured problem. Very. He's probably gonna fall asleep.
Maybe that's enough. That's not.
We're gonna go ahead and get started at 6 o'clock. I want to welcome everybody to the Franklin County Recreation Board meeting, where we're gonna recognize some all-stars and do a little bit of other business. And, since we get the all-stars recognized and they get their rings, if you folks want to leave, that's fine with us. But I know we didn't expect this meeting to be well. Maybe didn't quite prepare for this one. But, I've been asked to run the meeting tonight. I'm, Hal Herndon, County Commissioner, and I'm on the rec board. And I'm gonna ask our newest county commissioner, Andy Regan, if he'll lead us in a prayer for him.
Okay, glad to invite you. Heavenly Father, we thank you for today, Lord. We just thank you for the many blessings you give us each and every day. Lord, we just thank you for all these parents and all these kids that come out here, God. And we just thank you for looking over them, Lord. And we just thank you for the board members and our director, Lord, that plan for them and helps them to have a good place to come and a good place to enjoy themselves, Lord. Just good family fun. Lord, we just pray for this board today as they go about their business. Just help them do the things they need to do to make this successful. We thank you again for this and all things. In Jesus' name. Amen.
Flags in that corner. Pledge allegiance to the flag
and one
Say no.
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
From the rec board, got the agenda in front of you. And, as for a motion to approve the agenda,
Motion.
have a motion and here's a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Okay, any public participation? Anybody off agenda items? Anybody? If not, we'll move into the agenda, which is presentation of the rings to the 3 All-Star Basketball District winners. I'm sure everybody's excited about that. We get Jody, Evelyn, Noah.
Main, I'm gonna let the girl team go first.
You just want all the girls to walk out there?
Rain.
Right, if I. The dark, they.
And the line just came up down, the one down today.
Otherwise, I won't do it. Do they want to get back on their feet?
Cameras, that's James Frank one.
Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming, keep coming.
Jack, slide them down. Slide them down.
Excellent.
All right. Yeah. There we go.
Awesome, congratulations.
Next.
Hello.
Girls, I go.
You just heard me.
Put something in there.
Are y'all putting them on? Hurry.
Hey, put your ring on. We got him. Okay.
No, yeah. Thanks, Amy. It's next. I said, wow. That's what. You're gonna have. Yeah, the old one, the one. And then.
Got
Nothing, it's not it.
Really?
No, you're not home free then.
Y'all look, I feel like my boy, gives me. It won't be me. They stop.
All right, good job, man.
Good job, man. Gotcha. Speaker, you can walk away to keep me for that. That's my. No comment for the burden he sent today. I'm caught up. Yeah, but you know, see. Hey, that's all, they can never happen to her. Yeah. Okay, so that's fine. Go ahead and get out. There he goes. Everybody look. All right, I'm gonna look. Planner, look. That's. I'm.
I don't know which phone I'm looking at.
All the brave, you should be able to have them.
That's right.
Oh. It costs you even. It's hard to be
The one.
No.
Even I want to police background checks for coaches. Criminal. Okay. I was thinking give 1 second to fill it out. Hey, no, this one, my kids are this thing I can't, but that was half this. Which it was here, it'll be even shorter. Dallas on the scene.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just all jump for it. Josh. And that's the, I read it. That's, okay. Thank you both. Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll move on into our agenda tonight and, next introduction that we have on the agenda for the closing levy year. And ones that don't know and haven't met him yet, this is Joey Cason, our new county manager.
But the last time I saw the coach, I was in strikes. He was fussing at me about a holding call. Definitely was not holding.
They all stay there.
It looked like he was still holding on to it.
It was a weak side holding call, so we probably should have thrown the flag.
Yeah, that's right. We're excited about having Joey on board, and I'm gonna be honest with you, he has hit the ground running, big time. I don't know how he's getting it all done, but he is hitting the ground running. The next would be Jeff Kennan, head football coach and the new athletic director for the high school. We understand you're gonna tell us a few things.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to come speak to y'all. I just wanted to take just a few minutes. I've got some things here, for y'all to just look over as a board and whatnot, just some youth program core values. In program building, there's it's a ground up process, but you happen to start at the top. So when you get hired as a head football coach at a high school, that's where your job is, so that's the program that I'm in charge of. And but in that, and it takes time, but there are some responsibilities and the right ways of doing things where you just gotta start working your way down into getting to middle school, and then eventually you end up here. And I've been fortunate. I feel like I have a pretty good working relationship, with Joey and with Isaac Lloyd, especially with the football program, with communication and whatnot. I do a staff manual every summer, for my coaches, and it lists expectations and standards and core values and things for our program. And Coach Lloyd gets one of those, so he's treated and communicated with like he's a part of my staff. Now, the downside of most of this is, I have my own program to run. So I can't run Coach Howard's program in middle school, and I can't run Coach Lloyd's program at the rec department either. But what I can do is help and offer assistance, when needed. Now, so Coach Lloyd and I have met a number of times. Came, spoke to our team 2 years ago, and ever since then, whether I've got a kid, playing on a 12U, something, all-star, something or other, my own child, which makes me present, or it's just, coming up here because I've got a younger child playing soccer, but they're practicing football out here. I can get to the game, after I'm done hanging on the fence and watching, these young parents, develop and things of that nature. So what I wanted to do was communicate that to the board, that those are the things that are going on. And, as far as just some basics when it comes to what you want your youth football program to be doing, you just kind of want them to call things the same way you call them. They don't have to be like you're running the exact same formations and plays, but if it's the 2 back going to the 4 hole, you want them to call it some version of 24, anyhow. And that's basically all you need, so we are, offensively, we're even to the right, odd to the left. So Coach Lloyd is even to the right, nod to the left. And so, it's the same when they get to the middle school, and obviously, when they get to us in the high school. So those are the things that are already happening, for our program. So, this piece of paper is for you, to look at. If you ever have any questions, I know Mandy and Joey both could easily get in touch with me, but I just wanted to cover 1 or 2 of these bullet points, and I'll get out of your hair. But especially the very first core value is keep them playing next year. So participation, and from an athletic director standpoint, participation. You want these student athletes to be playing sports, and you want them to come back the next year, which is why things have really shifted. So I'm going into my 22nd year. I've been doing this a while, so it really has shifted to creating experiences. When I was playing football growing up, it was about learning life lessons and taking steps and having adverse experiences to help me learn how to respond to them. To where later on, when I became a man, that I would have some practice with some adverse situations. That hasn't changed. But what has changed is, the gym has air conditioning. In the swamp, even today, it's 92 degrees, at 10 a.m. And so, having kids participate and continue to participate is an ongoing problem for football,
nationwide. And so we really want to make sure that we are, I don't want a kid who's 8 years old or 10 years old or 12 years old have a negative it's going to happen, but we just don't want to have them to have a negative football experience so they don't ever play again, you know? And, we're a double A school. For 5 years, we've fluctuated from 880 students to 930, give or take. So for us to be successful, our athletes need to play multiple sports. They need to play as many things as they can, and they might not play those sports every single year either. Now they fluctuate, things like that. But we need our kid, and we don't, they don't have to play football. They need to be doing something. So, and this is kind of, if you've ever been in the gym when I've given the spiel about extracurricular activities, so this, we've got CTAE, with all the things they do there, and FFA at the school, and all those things, our chorus, our band, there are things for our children to do. They need to be doing. And so for the kids that like, chasing, footballs or basketballs or soccer balls or whatever, we want to be able to provide an experience that brings them back. So participation is extremely important. That's something I harp on, whether I'm, talking to my own children at my house or, in the school building. Just bumping down to, care about the teams at all levels. That speaks for itself. And then be there for your kid, but not just for your kid. So, your child is probably going to be your priority, and that's a great thing. But football is one of these last bastions of team games where, there's a lot of selflessness in a society full of selfishness. Not everybody wants to be the right guard. For some crazy reason, my two older children right now play quarterback. I was an offensive lineman, so I don't understand it. I don't even speak their language. I don't coach them. I don't get it. But like the offensive and defensive lineman that's a selfless position, and football's like that. It's really hard. You don't get your name in the paper, and things of that nature. So I feel those things are important. From a coaching standpoint, we don't want these. We want to create an experience, but we don't want it to be a 1-year experience. We want it just to be a step in the journey. That 8U step to the 10U step to the 12U step, and we just want to keep them playing football, which I feel is extremely important. This other document, it's just, again, this is, if you want to go to sleep fast tonight, but this is something that's included in my staff handbook. But these are just things, coaching philosophies, keys to success, fundamentals and principles and stuff like that. At 8U, if you're doing more, than just teaching, blocking and tackling and making sure that the kids are having fun, you're probably doing too much. Get them to line up, be able to execute, snapping the football and be able to safely, block and tackle and play a little bit of football. That's really about it. But it's important to create those experiences for those kids. So I just wanted to come communicate to the board. I feel like my relationship with our rec program and the coach is really good. We've got rec night on the calendar already for our schedule in the fall, and something planned during our off week for our kids and their kids. And just, again, Coach Lloyd's pretty good about having a heart for creating these experiences. So let me put my athletic director hat on just for about another minute, and I'll get out of your hair. But starting July 1st, I'll be the athletic director at the high school. And, so I can't, communicate enough how important I feel like this relationship is, and how much I look forward to working with you all and doing everything we need from coaching clinics, for, the 4 main sports that I can really think of, your baseball, your basketball, your soccer, and your football, and softball, excuse me. So those 5 sports, and be able, to communicate to our head coaches the importance of coming over here and spending an hour or two a season to talk and communicate things like I'm telling you guys about their sport to the moms and dads who are volunteering to coach children. And I think it's extremely important. You know how to get in touch with me if you need me. I don't know about you. I don't know if you have a phone number. I saw you walk in. I was like, I'm normally yelling at you. I'm trying to get better at all that. Anyhow, y'all have any questions for me? Right now, I'd be glad to answer anything, but I hope I've communicated effectively how important I feel rec and youth sports are. and how important it is for participation, promotion and participation at this level. Promote in our schools, promote, that our kids need to come over here and play ball and safety and things of that nature.
That's awesome. I appreciate you coming very much because you can't have a successful program unless we get the love of it in them and get them starting and wanting to do it and work their way up. And that's what we want. We just want to build this program here. We want to see it be as big as it can be, as big as we can stand it, and let them just love it, enjoy it, and just work their way up and hopefully be ready for you when the time comes.
Yeah, it's gonna be a pleasure having you on board. It really is, and getting everybody on this, the same program, same rules, whatever. I know when I was in high school, I played football from sixth grade all the way through. And when we got to the 11th grade, we changed coaches, and he changed the whole numbers. And you can imagine.
It's tough first.
Practices didn't look good at all.
Right.
Coach, he let out a few expletives, what was going on here, and finally figured it out.
Right.
But yeah, it's gonna be a pleasure really to try to get things on board. You got
Coach, the only thing I'd say is if there's anything that we can do to ensure that Joey has the facility usage that y'all already helped us with, if there's any criteria, any funds that I need to make sure he has additional funding for, if you'll let him know.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to make sure that I communicated that I'm definitely looking forward to continuing those things. I think it's extremely important. I want our kids playing basketball in the high school gym.
Right.
Whether it's practicing or whatever, I want them to do it because I know what it's like to be like, to be, a football field in East Cobb, in Marietta, when I was in the sixth grade, I'm gonna play on this field one day. That was important. We let Isaac, bring the boy, they do a practice in our stadium every year. They do one. And when our kids go out there and help them, whatever, those things to me are very important. Yeah. So thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, man. This is here. To see you, man. Don't take care.
Okay, Joey, update on updates.
Let's see. We done, I have 40. We just had, districts, hosted districts. And I think, here's some numbers. Okay. We hosted it for 4 days, the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, and 12th. And, done pretty well. It's real hectic, but, we had about $3,800 worth of entry fees. Made almost 8,000 at the gate and 14,000 at the concession. So,
Do you know how many participants you get?
we had 36 teams in all. We had 12 boys, 12 girls, and 14 girls.
I know I came by on Saturday evening real late. And everybody should have seen that crowd that did not see it.
Live that way Friday morning.
Oh, and it was beautiful.
Yes.
Motorhomes and campers.
From 10 to, I don't remember what time, Friday and Saturday. Had about Preston stayed out here till 11:45 midnight or so. Getting the field back in shape for the next day. That was Friday nights. Tuesday night, Thursday night, Saturday. Yeah. So we're all dog tired, but it was fun. An experience.
So now you have the pro guys getting fields ready overnight. College getting to a pro game.
I've had a few nighttime practices scheduled. We've had tournaments and rain us out there in the daytime, so that's some practice.
It'd be nice to prepare for just one game a week, huh?
That would be sweet.
Well, I'll tell you, those numbers about 425, roughly, figure about 12 kids a team typically, so that's about 425 kids.
It was packed.
It was. They did a great job. Speaking from someone that's been running GRPA tournaments since 1981, staff did a great job.
I believe the only problem we had was somebody bringing artificial noisemakers.
Yep, yep, they brought cowbells and were a little upset and told them they couldn't do it.
No cowbell? No cowbell.
Casey come out here with so much, almost every night, didn't you? That's awesome.
Is that a rule, literally? Do cowbells?
Can't have any artificial noisemakers.
It is.
Everybody kind of allows, music, like walk-up music
Yeah,
stuff when there's a
yeah,
dead
yeah.
ball. But as soon as the ball, right before they pitch it, you gotta turn all that off.
But for home runs, can you cowbell?
I mean, we don't, they're not even supposed to be allowed in the park.
I got you.
There's jump up, that's free.
Yeah.
I'm a cowbell kind of girl. I got two cowbells.
I do want my that's allowed in Mississippi State.
I was going to tell you, not Mississippi State.
Probably why we own that.
Okay. That all you do?
Yes, sir, pretty much. I need the rest of the stuff we're gonna talk
Yeah.
about and the rest of it.
Okay. Okay, moving on, next one, update on satellite cameras. I never have been able to get in touch with the lady, but, Joey, what that was about, we were looking at the surrounding parks, Springsport, Lauderdale, a couple of those. Pricing installing some cameras that would use cellular data. Since we don't have Wi-Fi in those areas and big trucks.
It's too cost prohibitive for us to do it in Kingman County, but we had more parks, but
Yeah,
it's definitely an issue, and I think it's something that y'all will want to consider, and if we can find that, there's definitely time for us to add that in our budget for next year.
just some pricing on it.
Well, with the repairs and the vandalism going on, we're spending money after money after money on.
Yeah, some spy point cameras out at some of the, at all the rest of the parks, but you don't get a good enough picture on those, there's five or anyone.
If you'll remind me, I'll send an email out to some of my friends up in Atlanta, metro area, and see what they're doing.
Okay,
That would be great.
okay. The old account. I want to go through that.
I'd be glad to. So I think the commissioners are aware of this, but there's approximately 175,000, it's maybe just slightly under that or slightly over that, depending on the 0.0006% interest that we got in May on the account. Currently, there's nothing designated for those funds. The commissioners haven't designated anything. And my recommendation, and y'all both heard me say this, is that we designate that for recreation department projects. And that my recommendation is, and I'll be more than happy to work with y'all, is that we go ahead and start looking at a list of projects for that money as well as SPOS. And I know that he's chairman, right? Jeff's your chairman. I know he talked with me about a gym at our last commission meeting. I was able to get Steve Card to respond. So we've heard back from him, and then I've actually talked to him and Steve Card. So y'all will know, and you may know, he's the executive director of Georgia Recreation and Parks Association. He was a recreation director in Wayne County many years ago, so he's familiar with South Georgia. He told me that right now, building cost in the north of Atlanta area is $225 a square foot. In the metro area is $300 a square foot. So then you're looking at about $5 million for a gym. Now, I reached out to someone else that is currently building some government buildings here in South Georgia, and he told me he felt like that price was lower. And I'm supposed to have a meeting with him. Sorry about that. I'm supposed to have a meeting with him on Thursday, and we'll have a more firm price for a South Georgia price then to be able to kind of give you an idea if that's a project that y'all decide y'all want to look at moving forward. But I will recommend that the commissioners in their meeting go ahead and designate that money for recreation projects. I would like for us to have an idea of what those projects would be when we do that. But that's about $175,000.
Yeah, I think the last meeting, I know there was a couple of commissioners on board with doing that.
Lost County, I thought of them.
Agenda.
They had a plan drawn up for almost identically to what we talked about. And that's what it was, 5 million, so
Now, I know, previous county manager was saying that we were considered, what zone? We took coastal zone, so we were looking into possibly some grants and stuff that would help because we don't have any evacuation shelters here, so we were trying to approach it from that point, seeing if there was any leeway, but because we were considered a coastal zone, we weren't really eligible for like a
So,
grant for like an evacuation shelter.
so build an evacuation shelter, because I had the evacuation shelter in Camden County.
Mhm.
That was the rally point for all first responders coming back in for Georgia Power and for Okefenokee as far as their staging area. The building that we had there, which is a huge gym, but small gym, bigger gym, facility, much like a YMCA, would stand a Cat 3. Today, to get the grants in the coastal region, you've got to build a building that will withstand a Cat 5. And so the structure of that size to withstand a Cat 5 would probably take that price from 5 to possibly $8 to $9 million if we were going to try to do it as an emergency shelter.
Mhm.
So the other problem we have is, and I'm not sure how much y'all are aware of this, but our coastal counties have business continuity plans, and they're not coming here. They're going past here.
Past here, yeah.
Glenn's going to Waycross.
Yes.
Camden's going to Valdosta. And so, and their accounting component in Camden is actually going up to Dublin. So we're not in a situation where we would be providing that resource for those two coastal counties.
I got you. That makes sense. We were just trying to find
Wow.
if there was a way, because I know personally, just in my family, my father, he passed away a few years ago, but he wasn't able to, he was in a chair, he had some health issues. He was total care. We had to evacuate him to a local church that was just stronger than their house. It was only a few miles away, but I know we were just thinking it might be two birds with one stone. Help get us a gym, but also provide the citizens with a place that really can't travel off far, with a place to go, because I think that year we had 3 or 4 come through. That was pretty.
The other issue that you face there, like, for example, we could have used ARPA funds for a project like that. But in that situation, then, if there is a situation that becomes a federal disaster, then FEMA takes control of the building.
Gotcha.
Okay, so we were looking at doing that in White County, using some ARPA funds to build a 2-court gymnasium so that it could be a center where we could give vaccines if needed and that kind of stuff. And after doing all the detailed research, basically what they ended up doing, because they were projected to be able to build something, and this was about 1.5 years ago for about $3 million. They were able to use ARPA funds to pay the deputies and first responders, and then take the money from the general fund that was going to go to pay the deputies and the first responders and apply that towards the gym. And so that's something that could have happened here. But if you basically make a commitment of those funds for anything that's GEMA or FEMA